Greetings to everybody across the country, across the world, to all of my friends and those who I haven't met yet, but I want to meet you. I am grateful for this opportunity to hang out here in Maryland, in Ellicott, in the mountains of Maryland, Ellicott City, to be here today. I'm honored that I am able to be here and grateful that I was in town morning in Ellicott City. Hey! So it worked out perfectly, and so I'm grateful. I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Baruch, who's coming up next. If y'all have never heard Dr. Baruch, you got to stay around. This brother is awesome. Awesome. Also, I want to say a great shout out to Che and Trevor for the vision of having this. And I understand my dear friend George Frazier was here yesterday. Is that correct? I want y'all to be involved with his new program, Connecting the Dots program, because I believe it's going to have a profound impact on people's life. Now, in fact, I got a hashtag for you, walk with wealth. Hashtag walk with wealth. Hashtag walk with wealth. Because what I'm going to tell you is about wealth and how to do it. Many of you know I have a Sirius XM radio show that's the #1 self-help wealth building radio show on the Sirius XM network. And I'm very grateful for the last 7-8 years. It's been just blowing up, and now we are even growing. If you have Sirius XM radio, you can hear it every Saturday at 4 p.m. On Eastern Time on channel 141. We interview the best and the brightest thought leaders, and then we replay that interview on Monday morning at 8 a.m., and then we replay it again on Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. So you can get it 8 a.m. on the East Coast on Monday and 8 a.m. on the West Coast on Monday, so you can get it in your drive time. Why did I start this program? Because a friend of mine put a piece in my mind that made me think about wealth building. That's the challenge. The challenge is learning how to create wealth. And one of the things I've learned over the years that the most effective way to learn how to create wealth is to learn it from somebody who's already done it. Because a lot of people talk about, but only a few do it. And if they're willing to teach you or share with you, then that's a gold mine. One of my dear friends is named Nido Cobain. You can check him out, nidocobain.com. nidocobain.com. Now, Nido Cobain is one of the wealthiest men in America. He's one of my mentors. Now, Nido Cobain came from Lebanon at the age of 17. His mama sent him from Lebanon to the land of opportunity, America. She said, son, your dad died, his father died when he was a child. She struggled with all these children. They didn't have much money. She put her last $50 in his hand. And she said, son, go to America. Go to America. I wish I had more money to give you, but I don't. But what I'm going to give you is probably worth more than any money I could have. And she was right. She didn't know it. The advice she gave him was priceless. So she told him, son, when you get to America, here's what you should do. You should walk with the wealthy, talk with the wealthy, learn from the wealthy, and you will become wealthy. You got to change your mindset and then your skill set. My friend Doreen Vale sent me a new book she's working on the other day, and she shared with me how she has struggled. She's a Stellar-nominated singer, and how they've lost their home. They had bad credit. They went through bankruptcy. And the reason, she said, reason for it was because she looked at her parents. And that's how they handled their finances. Hiding bills, hanging up on the creditors, not taking care of your credit deals, not paying your bills on time, not saving any money, spending it up, get a little bit, spend it up. Look at what we call big hat, no collateral, where they are spending every penny they got so they can appear wealthy. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. And so she learned her financial habits from her parents by looking at them. And she developed that same mindset. And then she went on tour with myself and Kelvin Boston and Dennis Kimbrough. We did the MoneyWise tour, and she started taking notes on what we talked about in this tour. And she started changing her thinking. Mindset. She today is doing well. Her credit score is great. They're making money. They're creating income. They've got their own video company. They have their own record company because they understand now that it's about mindset. So folks, first about mindset. Hashtag mindset. Everybody, hashtag mindset. So you won't forget this. Other part of it is skill set. You got to work on you. You got to develop you. You got to grow you. One of my dearest friends in the world, many of you know, is Les Brown. Les Brown was not just a person who had an impact on me as a speaker, but as a friend. And so we traveled together, toured together, going around the world, speaking together. And one of the things Les said is that you've got to constantly grow your skill set. You got to grow you. So that is why I tell people you got to grow the you. Write this one down. Write this one down. Best way to grow your future, grow yourself. Best way to grow your organization is grow your people. I talk about it in my Attitude of Excellence books. You got to grow you. Here's the story. I was a new speaker. I had no books, no tapes, no radio, no television, no credentials to be a speaker. Had nothing but a desire to inspire people, help them to live better, achieve more. But I had no credentials. I was struggling to keep the lights on, struggling to keep the phones on. It was hard. Finally, somebody called and said, we want you to come speak in Orlando, Florida. We'll pay you. We'll fly you down. I was ecstatic. I went to Orlando. I gave the speech. They gave me a standing ovation. And then they gave me my check. I could have looked at that check for an hour. Wow. I felt so good. Put the check in my pocket, finished meeting and greeting people. Went back to the airport to fly back to D.C. Feeling good. Got on the plane, feeling good. Sat in my seat, feeling good. Sat back and just enjoyed that moment. About halfway through the flight, though, I wanted that feeling one more time, that thrill one more time with that check. So I pulled out the check a second time to get that thrill. And when I looked at it the second time, I got depressed. Because that money was already allocated. It was already gone. Anybody ever get your check before you can get to the bank and you know it's gone? I started having a pity party with myself right there in B-22. There was an older gentleman right across the aisle from me who started talking to me. He must have sensed I was struggling. He struck up a conversation. We talked for a few minutes. He told me he was a minister. He lectured every day in a different city on health and wealth. I said, you fly every day? He said, yes, sir. We talked for a few more minutes, and then he asked me a question that literally changed my life. He said, young man, how old do you think I am? I looked him up and down. I said, sir, I think you're about 60. He smiled. He took off his glasses. He looked me dead in the eye. He said, young man, I'm 88 years old. I'm 88, and my best is yet to come. In that moment, everything shifted in my head. If an 88-year-old man could have the optimism to believe that his best days were in front of him and not behind him, what did I have to whine and cry and complain about? And I went home with a new attitude. And I got on the phone and started making sales calls. And if people say no, I say next. And they say, I'm not interested in what you got. And hang up in my face. I said, thank you. You're not the right one. 20 years have gone by. I've been inducted in the Speaker Hall of Fame. I've been named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world. I've won all the awards for speaking. I've traveled around the world. I have best-selling books, television, radio. But it's just the tip of the iceberg of what's yet to come. And I came here today without a question in my mind to say to each one of you here in this room and those around the country online, I came here to let you know you have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon you, you can't refuse it. You didn't seek it. You didn't choose it. But it's up to you to use it. You must suffer if you lose it. Give account if you abuse it. Just a tiny little minute. But your eternities are all wrapped up in it. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. It's been a treat and a treasure. It's been a joy beyond measure for me to be in the presence of those who are going to change the world online and in person because they have a new mindset, new skill set, and they've made a commitment to invest in their future and invest in their finances. Walk with Wealth. Go to walkwithwealth.tv. Go to wjstuff.com. Get it now. Don't delay because I want to see you at the top. God bless you.